Is it worth the waiting for? If we live till 84, all we ever get is gruel. Every day we say our prayer. Will they change the bill of fare? Still we get the same old gruel. There's not a crust, not a crumb. Can we find? Can we beg? Can we borrow or cash? But there's nothing to stop us from getting a thrill when we all close our eyes and imagine food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard while we're in the mood, cold jelly and custard, peas, pudding and salmon.
Hi, welcome to this edition of Jimmy Mo's Kitchen. As you may have noticed, the introduction music today was a little bit different. I picked this music because today I'm going to pay tribute to my parents, especially my mom, who influenced me on how to cook. But both my parents loved musicals. They exposed all of us kids to the arts, and they loved musicals. And today's introduction music was from Oliver Twist, Food, Wonderful Food, and we're about to have some wonderful food today. One day I ate a German pancake, and as I was eating it, I noticed that this tasted really familiar. And I says, this isn't anything new. This is Yorkshire pudding. The only thing that they've turned it into a sweet meal rather than a savory one. So I looked it up, and yeah, right on the money. German apple pancake has the same exact ingredients as Yorkshire pudding. So the Germans, they stole Yorkshire pudding recipe from the English and called it a German apple pancake. Well, we're going to make a German apple pancake today using my mom's Yorkshire pudding recipe. I didn't think I could make Yorkshire pudding as good as my mom does, so I decided to take it in a different direction and make it a sweet treat rather than a savory one. So today we're going to have a German apple pancake, Yorkshire pudding, with a creamy apple topping on top of it with a German sausage, and we're going to have a delicious brunch today. Enjoy this edition of Jimmy Mo's Kitchen. Hi, welcome back to Jimmy Mo's Kitchen. Today we're going to make what's called a German pancake. We're also going to make an apple topping for our pancake, and we're going to make this for our brunch today. We're going to have a late breakfast lunch today, and it's a real simple recipe. It's the same recipe, Mom, as Yorkshire pudding, but we're going to make it a sweet treat rather than a savory treat. We're going to take 4 eggs, put them in the bowl, and we're going to take 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of flour. Alright, just take a whisk and just combine that all together. And once you've combined that all together, you put a lid on this, put it in the fridge for a couple hours until you're ready to bake it, and then we'll pick it up from there. Thanks. Alright, we've let our mixture rest for a couple hours. As you can see, it's like a nice little pancake batter. We've got our cast iron frying pan here. We put some olive oil and melted a little butter in the frying pan. We're going to take a pastry brush and just coat the edges of the frying pan to ensure we don't get any sticking on the sides. Alright, now we're just going to pour our mixture in the cast iron frying pan. scraper here. Get the rest of that mixture out of there. Alright, so we've preheated the oven, 425. We're going to bake this for about 35-40 minutes until done. Alright, while our German pancake is baking in the oven, we're going to make our topping. We've cored and sliced some Granny Smith apples. Now we're just going to cut them in half. And what we've done is we've taken a half a stick of butter, we've melted it in there with about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And we've already cored and sliced these apples, so we're going to throw these apples in the pan. And then we're going to fry these apples up. And they'll render their juice, and you'll get a lot of juice from the apples, and then we'll thicken it up with a little cream. And we'll have a delicious little apple topping for our German pancake. Alright, so we're going to go on the stove and we're going to fry these apples up and so we get a delicious little sauce. Before we do that, let's put a little vanilla in there. About a teaspoon of vanilla. And let's coat them with a little cinnamon. And I'm thinking we need a little more brown sugar. So we'll sprinkle a little brown sugar. About 2 more tablespoons of brown sugar on top of those apples. Alright, here we are over on the stove. So as you can see, we've got our apples just a simmering. They're starting to render their juice. They're just boiling up and soaking in that brown sugar and cinnamon. So they're just about ready to go, and we'll make a little cream sauce to put in there in just a second. But we're going to have a little bratwurst with our German pancakes, so we're going to have a German meal. I'm doing a little trick that my daughter taught me, Lindsay, that you put a little water in the bottom of the frying pan with some oil, and then it'll kind of boil those sausages, and then the water will evaporate, and then it'll brown your sausages just perfect. That way you don't burn your sausage, and they get cooked all the way through and through. So there's a little water with some olive oil in there, and we're just going to cover those with the lid and let them simmer for a little while, and then we'll have a delicious German sausage with a German apple pancake. There's our sausages, nice and brown and cooked all the way through. I'm telling you, this little method of putting a little water and oil in the pan and then letting the water evaporate out is the only way to cook hot dogs or sausage. Alright, we're just going to add about a cup of cream. And we'll let that get up to temperature. And if you need to thicken it, you just add a little cornstarch to that until you get a nice thick syrup.
Food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard. While we're in the mood, cold jelly and custard, peas pudding and saveloys. What next is the question? Rich gentlemen have it, boys.
Alright, here we are, our German apple pancake with a creamy apple topping and a German sausage for our brunch. The taste test. Oh, that is so good that I feel like I need to break out in song. Food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard. While we are in the mood, cold jelly and custard. It's food, wonderful food, glorious food, wonderful food.